You're listening to the Uplevel Your Online Business Show, where wealth is empowering, purpose is crucial, and high vibes are non-negotiable. And now, here's your host, certified business coach and practical woo strategist, Sarah J. Loureiro.
Welcome back to another episode of the Uplevel Your Online Business Show. And I'm feeling really happy and excited this morning as I record this for you because I just made a really exciting decision in my business. And I've also been deliberating this decision for the past few days. And so because I know that all of you, especially all of you doers and the ones that, are really, really confident in what you're doing, I know that you probably go through this a lot when you start to think about, okay, should I invest in this? Should I not invest in this? And I wanted to tell you, the most important questions that I ask myself, and really the only questions that actually matter when making a decision about whether or not to invest. And I want to say in specific in a coach or a mentor. So not necessarily for a done-for-you service or anything like that, but really if it's time for you to hire a coach or if it's time for you to hire someone who's going to help teach you how to do something different in your business. I also wanted to go through a few myths that exist in the online space in terms of, like when it's time to make the investment, how you need to feel when you make your investments and all of that kind of stuff. And I want to really bust these myths, even from a place of personal experience and also from seeing this from clients' perspectives, because I feel like there's a lot of jargon that goes on online in terms of like what's the right way to do things and what's the wrong way to do things. And I feel like for me, it couldn't be more false. And so what I'm talking about is the whole idea that you need to make your decisions from a place of empowerment and not from a place of scarcity or not from a place of desperation or frustration. And I really want to challenge that belief. And I think that a lot of the times we can get really in our heads of like, oh, well, I'm too desperate right now. So therefore, this is not going to be the decision that I want to make because I'm in a really desperate place. Sometimes being in a really desperate or frustrated place is what you need to light a fire underneath you so you can be like, okay, you know what? I am frustrated. Yes, I do feel a little bit desperate. And that's the exact energy that I want to utilize because it's time for me to make a change. And I think it's really interesting because looking back on all of my business decisions, the times that I've made decisions from more so from a place of frustration or from a place of like, damn, I just really, really want this to work, have actually been the best decisions usually that I make, versus I've also made business decisions from just a pure place of empowerment, just a pure place of, you know what, I really want to work with this person and I really want to be in like their quote unquote field of energy. And I just kind of want to see what's out there. I didn't have that much of a fire lit under me, if that makes sense, in those situations. And not to mention that just because you're in a place of desperation or frustration does not mean that you're about to make the wrong investment, right? Like you could have researched who it is that you want to hire, the person that you want to work with for weeks, days, months, whatever it is. And if you really feel in your core, like, yes, this is the person who's going to teach me, this is the person I really want to work with, it doesn't matter what state of mind you're in when you make that investment. All that really matters is that you intuitively know that this is going to be the thing that's going to help you to get you to the next level. Of course, there are really great questions that you also want to ask yourself. Like, for example, right now that I'm thinking about making this new investment in my business, some of the questions are, okay, well, what are the results that this person has provided other people in a similar field to me? So I'm not necessarily looking for, okay, what has every single person in their program done? Because I know that I'm not every single person. I know that I get things done. And so I want to know, okay, what are the testimonials? What have people been able to achieve? And in specific, people like me. Right? So people who are in my specific niche, people who have, let's say, for example, if they're moms, if people who are a little bit busier, I want to know, considering my own constraints, what people have been able to do in this program. I also want to know what process this person has. And so what I mean by that is Do they primarily do organic reach? Do they primarily promote Facebook ads? Do they primarily promote collaborations? What is the system that they use to help you get to where you want to be? Let's say, for example, if the person is utilizing funnels and Facebook ads and that's the entire program, but you're really not tech savvy at all, and you actually prefer to do something that's more organic, more in terms of relationship building, then that's probably not going to be the best program for you, especially to start out with, because you're going to have a lot of trouble implementing it. But of course, these are also very strategic questions that you can ask someone. To me, this is not the most important thing that you really want to ask and the most important way to come across making your decision. And what usually goes on in so many people's minds right before they make an investment is this going to work for me? Right? So is this going to work for me as a human being, not necessarily people in my industry, but me? How much money am I going to have to invest in this thing in order for it to work? And at what point in time is it actually going to start working? I know that these are usually the things that go on in my head as well. Number 3, I know I've thought through this one a lot. Are they going to teach me things that I already know? And I think that this is such an important one, especially if you've purchased programs before. And let's say, for example, the program was about signing on higher paying clients. The program was about making 6 figures, and you took the program and it wasn't the right strategy that you needed for you, or it just wasn't in the right format for you and you didn't get the results that you wanted. I see this happening so much when people are like, oh yeah, well, I already took a program like that. You guys, I've taken a ton of programs like that. And I continue to take programs like that, even as a business coach, even as someone who's helped my clients get fully booked. And it's because each and every person is going to teach you things in slightly different ways. They're going to have a slightly different strategy. And by us just kind of always being in our heads, being like, oh, well, I've already done that before. Someone's already taught me that before. You're honestly limiting yourself so much. Because think about it, right? Unless you're still in this program and implementing what it is that you're learning and getting that feedback, if you knew how to do it, you would have done it by now, right? So maybe the first program that you took on this subject got you to a specific level, but didn't get you over the hump that you really needed to. But maybe the second or the third program that you take is really going to take you to the next level in terms of learning that one thing. And I've found that in the past where I've invested in so many different business coaches. I've invested in so many different programs, and some of them are much better than others. I'm not going to lie. Some of them are a lot more high quality, a lot more high touch, give you a lot more amazing support. I have been disappointed in the past as well. However, at the end of the day, they all teach something slightly different. And the more I can gain knowledge and really implement things differently, the more that I can succeed at a faster pace, because I'm going to find the strategy that works the best for me. So once you can kind of get through all of those types of things and just understand that those are very common objections for everyone, right? Another, I guess the last one that I want to talk about before going into my 2 most important questions is the whole idea of time, right? Like, this isn't the right time for me because of this, this, and this. You know, right now, as I record this episode, I'm about to go on a holiday to Canada and on a holiday to Portugal. By the time this episode airs, I'm probably going to be in Portugal. And my logic brain is just like, oh, no, you can't do investments right before you're going to go on a holiday. I mean, like, then you're going to go on a holiday. You won't be able to implement whatever it is that you're doing. But I don't have those excuses in my head, and I refuse to let those excuses limit me. And so when I think about this, and when I think about this whole like, okay, well, no, I can't do it because I'm about to go on holiday, I instead then actually flip the switch on myself and say, I can't afford not to do this right now. And I really can't. Because if you think about it, the one thing that we have that is finite is time. The one thing that we have that is infinite is money. Money is literally infinite. Time is literally finite, right? You cannot argue those facts. And so when we're constantly being like, now is not the right time, we're constantly wasting time trying to do things on our own, trying to do things in ways that clearly have not worked the best for us in the past. And we're wasting time in not fully being able to step into our true potential because we're giving ourselves headaches, we're allowing ourselves to be frustrated, and we're just allowing ourselves to pass through time without fully utilizing the time that we have. And so for me, anytime that I make a new investment, unless I'm about to go on like a 1-week holiday where I'm just going to completely shut off my phone, of course, yes, maybe at that point in time, I'd invest right after the holiday. But I've never let those things hold me back. And it's because I know that I'm capable of being able to balance it. And this brings me to one of my 2 most important questions that you need to ask yourself when making your investments. And the by far one of the most important things that I need to ask myself is, do I believe in myself enough to make this work? I can tell myself dozens of excuses as to why now is not the right time and why I cannot do this, and what if this happens, and what if this happens, and what if this happens. But I've been in business long enough now to know that I always make things work. And I always make more money. I always sign more clients. And even if you're completely new to business, you need to trust yourself enough, and you need to trust yourself enough to know that you're going to do everything it takes. So maybe if you haven't even signed on clients yet, you need to ask yourself, am I going to do everything it takes to make this investment work? And in my situation, if I continuously tell myself, well, now's not the right time, well, what if I don't do this? I can just revert back to past scenarios where it's just like, okay, well, when have I not allowed myself to do this? And what does it say about me if I'm making a decision based off of, well, maybe I can't do it? What am I betting on? I'm definitely not betting on my success. I'm definitely not betting on my willingness, my drive, the fact that I know what I'm doing, the fact that I truly believe that this is possible for me. I'm actually betting against all of that. I'm betting against all of the times that I've succeeded because I'm more willing in that specific state, in the state of, I can't do this. I'm more willing to say, well, no, it's not worth it. And I can't do this, even though I've proved to myself so many times in the past that I can, than to say, hey, yeah, I'm going to do this. And look at how many times I've done this. Look how many times I've made this investment back, or look how many times I've proved to myself that yes, I can follow instructions and I can follow steps and I can do the mindset work and I can get all of this done. And so that is the most important question is, do I believe in myself enough to do this? And the second question that I always love to ask myself is this truly the program and is this the mentor that I know is going to help me and is going to really utilize my fullest strengths? And I think that this is also a really empowering question because then you can start to answer that question on your own saying, okay, well, this is the thing I like about this program. And this is another thing that I like about this program. And the testimonials from this program are just like really great. I have a friend who took it, got amazing results. I know someone who knows this person. They got great feedback. And I know that for myself, anytime that my clients have come to me and have been like, oh, so-and-so took your program and they got really phenomenal results, that person is always so much more likely to be like, okay, hell yes, like I'm going to do this and I'm going to invest in this because they feel so much more empowered about that decision. They feel so reassured about that it's not just about them. It's also about the mentor, right? It's also about the experience. It's also about that trust factor. And so my question to you and also to myself is always, okay, well, how is this person really, really credible in what they're doing, right? Let's say, for example, if it's someone with like very little experience who's kind of charging a lot off the bat, doesn't have a lot of testimonials, maybe then I'd be a little bit more iffy with my decisions. But if I know that this person has a really great track record of helping a lot of people succeed, and then once again, I know that in my level of belief, I know that I'm going to go all in and I know that this is the right person for me and it feels really good in my gut, then I can't afford not to make that investment. And it does not matter. Once again, it does not matter how much time in the near future I'm going to have to invest in it. I'm going to make it work. It does not matter how much I've already invested in the past or any other types of programs I've invested in, because if I have not gotten the desired result that I've wanted yet, it's because there's still something that I'm not doing, or there's still some sort of limiting belief that I have that I haven't been able to uncover on my own, and I haven't been able to uncover in previous investments that I've done. And by really shifting the way that you look at things, you realize that you really only have a finite amount of time. And time again, what I've seen is the people who go for it and the people who make the decisions. And I mean, even from my own personal experience, when I've doubled down and when I've been like, I'm going to make this work no matter what, those are the times that like the income usually doubles, or the community size doubles, or the amount of testimonials, amazing testimonials that I get from my clients starts doubling, because of the fact that I go all in with that sheer belief. And I admit that I don't know everything, right? I'm a business coach. I make multiple six figures a year. And yet I don't know everything. I don't know everything there is to know about online business and signing on clients online. I know a lot, and I know probably more than like 95% of people out there, but there's still a certain amount that I don't know, and there's still a certain amount of limiting beliefs that I haven't been able to uncover on my own. So by me humbling myself, I actually put myself into a place of empowerment. And I take that pressure off of myself to feel like I should know everything. Because really, this is why, I mean, human beings crave connection. We crave to be in experiences where we feel supported. And so as a human being, I also know that I can't do all of this on my own. I don't want to scale on my own. I want to do it with really incredible people by my side, which is why I continue to invest in my business, even as someone who quote unquote should know it all. So please put this into practice as best as you possibly can. Find the creative ways to make it work, because there are always ways to make it work. And let me know how you liked this episode. If you want to share this with one of your friends, if you feel like they would really need to hear it, please send it along to them. And it would mean the world to me if you left a 5-star review, or if you shared this to your social media. All right, that's it for me. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll catch you next time.
Thanks for listening to the Uplevel Your Online Business Show. If you enjoy our show and would like the show notes and free goodies about how to grow your online coaching business, head over to sarahjlorero.com for more information. We hope you'll tune in next time.